Welcome back, fellow gamers. So today I wanted to talk to you about the Eldritch Moon Prerelease that just happened and my experience with the pre-release. So it was a fun environment. The game store I usually go to ran it quite well as per usual. There was a fairly, I'd say, fairly regular turnout. Wasn't the busiest pre-release I've seen, and it definitely wasn't the worst. Worst, I think, being Dragon's Maze. I think it was Dragon's Maze. Anyways, it started off with a bang. I opened up Liliana, and that kind of sealed it for me. I was like, I'm gonna play black. I don't care. My blinders were on, and I forced black into my sealed pool. Also, as I was opening my packs, I noticed that most of my rares were blue. I looked at the other colors, and red was okay. There wasn't that much in white. Green was actually really good, but it was something I completely looked over. I don't know why. I think so. I drove a few hours to get to the store because I don't live in the same city anymore. But I had a friend's barbecue I was going to a brunch the day after, so I was already in town. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to take advantage and play at the store I've always played at when I was living in the same city as the rest of my buddies. So my mind, I don't think, was all there. The first game went okay. Like, this is what I was using as my deck. And I say the first game, I don't say the first match, because the matchup only lasted one game. Oh god. The person I was with, he was just getting back into Magic. And not the person I was with, sorry, the person I was paired with was just getting back into Magic. And he'd asked me for a bit of patience before we started, and he seemed pretty nervous. I was like, you know what, take your time. I know that, this is a pre-release environment. It should be fun. It should be welcoming and inviting to new players and players who are, once again finding their way into Magic. So with that said, I didn't pressure him. His decisions were really long, and it went to turns, and on turn 5, he beat me. He was playing white-green humans, so I'm assuming he did his research, since he said he hasn't played since the Mirrodin block, the first Mirrodin block. And he must have done his research, because he had a really good deck. It kind of locked me out. I didn't have that. I wasn't running that many creatures. I was running like 11, 12 creatures, which is fairly low for a sealed deck. But it's because I forced black. I had 3 removals, even though they were really expensive, in black, and I had Liliana, and I had some a few little tricks that I wanted to pull off. I did get to play Mind's Dilation, and I cast a few of his actual bombs. I don't remember the card names. I'll try to find it and post it up in the video, but one of the white-green humans, I think it was Human Neural, he had lifelink, and he gave things like +3/+3. It was a 3/3. I got him. I got a few of his combat trick spells, and that was pretty awesome. So I really enjoyed playing with Mind's Dilation. That was kind of the point of me playing blue. I wanted to play Mind's Dilation specifically because I felt that would be a fun card to play with, and I wasn't wrong. Unfortunately, like I said, I did lose the first game. And then I was like, at the end of that game, like as I mentioned, it went to turns, and he squeaked out the victory in turn 5. If I maybe made my deck a bit more threatening, he would have been able to. I would have been able to win at least one game. I mean, the game, I think we didn't play that many turns. Like, he was at 8 life, and he killed me swinging with everything since it was turn 5, and I just couldn't deal with it. Like, I was like, all right, I guess you win. So I quickly between the pairings, I made adjustments to my deck, and I'm like, you know what, blue's not working. I'm going to take blue out. I'm figuring that I was trying to be too cute with blue, and I would like to win packs. I'm there to have fun, but I would like to win some packs. So I went ahead and inserted green. And green was, chock full of werewolves. I had some Eldrazi. Had a bit of removal. Had reach. I had flash guys. So I did have some combat tricks. So I figured I was ready for the next test. So I get matched up with my opponent, who was playing 3 colors actually, which I was surprised at the amount of players I saw playing 3 colors. He was playing white, red, and blue. So America! Him and I traded. So the first game I actually got my werewolves out fairly quickly and ran over him. Second game, I was playing, I'd gotten Liliana out turn 3, and I was able to keep his stuff off the board. But then what happened was that, so I was at Liliana's ultimate, and the player I was playing against attacked me. And then I went to go take damage, and then he's like, oh, no, wait, I would like to attack Liliana. And again, it's a pre-release. I'm trying to have fun. I want other people to have fun. I don't like to be that rule stickler. If this was like a Grand Prix or some sort of more competitive event than a pre-release, I would have said, well, no, what's said is said. But I let him take back his move, and that ended up costing me the game because he attacked Liliana. I didn't get to ultimate her. He then played like a board wipe, and then not a board wipe. What did he play? He played something. He managed to remove my creatures from the board. I didn't have that many, but he still managed to remove some of the creatures I had off the board. And then I couldn't recruit. Like, I just started drawing land, and then it went away. I lost. And the third game, I mulliganed down to 4 cards. Didn't have any land. Started, got really slow, and that was that. That was my match. I lost that one. Then I had plenty of time to kill in between because the 3 games went by really quick. So then what happened is I'm like, you know what? Let me look at my black. I don't think blue was a problem. And sure enough, I just got so shoehorned. I shoehorned myself into black because I wanted to play Liliana, and I was like, no, I'm gonna take out black and blue's back in. So I'm gonna play green blue, which is what I should have been doing from the start. I made that mistake. I know it's pretty common for people to make a mistake, especially when they have a nice shiny pre-release promo that they want to play with, and they try to just make it happen. And that's what happened to me. So this is my deck going forward. It was green, blue, and I put the blue goodness back in, and it really, like, the tapping effects and the combat, not the combat tricks, but just the instant sorceries I was running with really helped me control the tempo of the game. What happened? I won my 2 games 2-0, and that was that. I ended up winning a few packs. I should have been playing this deck from the start, and it didn't work, and because of that, I cost myself some extra packs, but you know what? I still had a great time. With Mind's Dilation, I got to cast so many good stuff. Like, I actually hit that card in almost every game I played, and I rarely was disappointed. It's going to be an extremely fun card to play in Commander. I cannot wait to start busting that card out and just going wild with it and just making people's lives miserable. So that's my experience during the pre-release. I hope that the pre-release that you had at your local game store was just as fun. I would love to hear about it. Let me know what you pulled. Was there any great, pools that you had, or did you see any amazing plays? How did you finish? What did you think of the sealed environment? I would love to hear your thoughts.